Hello and welcome. My name is Tom.
And I'm Heather.
And you're sitting at the one and only Couples Table.
The Couples Table is a live stream podcast here on this channel. Join us for better or worse,
for richer and poorer,
in sickness and in health.
Whenever we stream, even if it's 2 hours earlier than normal.
Yay! Why is it 2 hours earlier than normal, Tom?
I'm going to go play hockey later.
He's got a hockey game. So we gotta move it.
So thanks for accommodating me. As I'm blocking shots, I'll be thankful to each and every one of you.
Yes, you'll be doing this while we were supposed to stream. Anyway, hello everybody. Hi to Sammy Superstar. Thanks for being on the YouTube Huddle Up. It was good to see you. Rock. Just want to say from the get-go, you guys are really inspiring for a new YouTube creator like me. I love that you can do this together. I've learned a lot from you both.
That's so nice.
So nice.
That's a Daymaker comment right there.
Yeah. What a wonderful thing to read. I'm so glad. Audio Hotline is in the house.
Hello,
Friday.
hello.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everyone, says Rock. Pete Breen is here. Hello, hello. Homesick Mac. Hi, everyone. Call me Cubby. Friday. And Jules. Hello. It's good to see. It's cool because now I see a lot of these people twice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because of the YouTube Huddle Up, which has been so much fun.
That is really fun.
We can talk about that a little bit today. But today, so the topic. Why'd you laugh?
You went. I saw you go wide and then like narrow it down. We can talk about that today.
I had a second cup of coffee, so.
Oh, okay. That's good.
My mind.
Well, today,
yeah.
If you've noticed.
What did we notice?
That's what we're talking about. Things we've noticed on YouTube today.
Stupid.
So your YouTube Huddle Up fits perfectly within the purview of those constraints. Yeah, we both had this is not a bad thing. It's not like a YouTube drama thing. It's just sort of like, oh, cool, interesting things have happened. Yeah. Cool, interesting things have happened on our channels lately. And
just like things worth noting.
Things worth noting. Yeah. Where else are we going to talk about them, you know?
Yeah.
So that's it. I know Rock said it's Rocky. And if I had that mic screen, I would be tempted to take a bite out of
this one?
And we got Mr. Camera Junkie and Kombucha.
What's up? Good to see you guys.
The Booch.
Well, why don't you start? Because you have visual. I mean, I have visual too.
Oh, yeah. I have a couple different things to cover today. But one thing that was just sort of interesting, which we talk about all the time, you did a live stream on Wednesday.
I did two.
You did two live streams in one day.
This is my third.
Yeah, look at you go.
Wait, 2 live streams in a day.
Oh, no, you did. Sorry, your live stream was on Tuesday. This is your third one of the week. Heather did a live stream on Tuesday with our friend James, who has a YouTube channel and also an Instagram. And it was a great stream where they were talking about sort of his approach to short form content on Instagram, because he's an expert in it in a way that we are not. And it was so interesting to hear about. One of the things they were talking about in that was sort of the difference between the platforms. And this is obviously something that comes up a lot. And one of the differences in something like Instagram or TikTok is how brief the stuff you make sticks around.
Shelf life.
The shelf life of your content. Versus YouTube, one of the biggest strengths that we've said for many years is that YouTube, the stuff you post on there is always there and accessible. Like, how many times in your recommendations or your search results do you get videos that are years old? Like,
Well, also that, and like when you try to find a post on Instagram that you saw, I feel like this happens so often it's a meme now. But if I want to show a post to Tom that I see on Instagram, by the time I take the phone to Tom, it's disappeared.
You will never find it again.
But every time I log into YouTube, videos are given a second try, sometimes a third. Like, I'll see the thumbnail
will pop up again. It's like, come on, I know you're gonna want this one.
Based on what we know, you really want to watch this video here.
Yeah, and sometimes I know we're actually hurting that person's CTR by not clicking on the video every time it's shown. But sometimes by like the 10th time the thumbnail pops up, I'm like,
you're like, okay, yeah.
And so many times we have the discussion where one of us will say, "Oh, I watched a video about whatever," and the other will say, I didn't see the video, like, I didn't see the video, but I've been seeing the thumbnail. And then, you'll tell me, and that'll make me finally click on that thumbnail or whatever it might be. But yeah, something that happened. So last summer, I made what is one of my favorite videos I've ever made. It was when I was sort of like switching up how I was doing things on my channel. I spent, I think in total, about 6 weeks on this video. Very different than, 2 or 3 days I normally spend on a video. And it was about an old video camera, the Canon XL1, like an old camcorder from 25 years ago. That was kind of my dream camera as a kid. And about 3 years ago, oh my God. Yeah, I think 3 years ago this year, I found one on eBay that was in like awesome condition and for a couple $100 and bought it. And I wanted to make a video about it for like 3 years, and I didn't until last summer. And I love that video. I put so much effort into that video, but the video didn't do particularly well.
It took you forever to make this video.
It took me forever. It was one of those ones that like it was a labor of love, but you know, sometimes the videos, that's the one. Sometimes the videos that you work the hardest on and care about the most are
lowest. It's the lowest performance.
It was a 10 out of 10.
It's always the case. It's the one that you put the most time in. For some reason, it's the one that just doesn't, you know. I
did the thing where I changed the thumbnail like 10 times. I changed the title a couple of times. And finally, after I even put it on my website, I think even now, if you go to the bottom of a website, there's like, here's a couple videos to recommend. And it's like one of those. So it's like, just watch this video, please. And no one was really watching it. That was my relative zero, I guess. No one was really watching it. And that was fine. I kind of made my peace with it. I was like, okay, cool. I just sort of put it back to like the original thumbnail, the original title, and let it go. And then maybe sometime last week, I started noticing like, God, all the comments I'm getting are just on this video. Like, why is everything just this video? And then I realized, it's because this video is like really taking off. And it started going kind of nuts and getting like upwards of 10 to 12,000 views a day. Like, it was sort of insane.
Oh, nothing.
So I had the thing here that was there we go.
Tom took a screenshot.
Before this, because this is not obviously like, it's not about, when you do YouTube, it's not always all about the views, and it's not always about like that kind of stuff. And I don't want to go into, I'm making it transparent. How do I change the scale of this?
Like this. You know how you go to the corner.
Oh, there we go.
Drag it.
I've used Ecamm before. This is not a thing you can predict. It's not a thing that says whether or not a video is successful. Kind of like I said, I came to peace with the fact that like this is a niche video that I'm really happy it was there, and I had a really good time making. And the few people who did watch it originally really enjoyed it. So it's like, okay, cool. You know, I was fine with it, happy with it. But this is not something that would have happened on any other platform. And obviously, like, I have no idea why it happened here on YouTube. But suddenly you can see that crazy spike.
Oh, yeah, you can't.
Where, like...
This spike. Oh.
There it is.
This one
right here. For some reason. And you can kind of see down there. This is from yesterday, so the numbers are a little different today. But you can see down there, it's browse. For some reason, YouTube decided to start recommending this video to people. And based on...
A year later.
Well, really more like 6 months, I guess, later.
Okay.
But... based on the comments I'm getting, it found the right people, because it's almost every comment is someone sharing their memories with this specific camera, like how they used it or had it, how they were able to save up and get it, what it meant to them, or if they were someone like me who was just like a kid who drooled over it and never got one. But it's like all of those comments that I'm getting flooded with are really like high quality comments where people are actually interested in and engaging with the video and the topic and the subject, and it's really cool. I have no idea why that happened. It's not something you can predict, or, you know, I don't think anyone tries to make a video like this will be really popular in 6 months or a year.
Yeah.
But I think most of us who've done YouTube for a while have an experience like that, where suddenly some random video just goes crazy at a random time, and it can end and probably will end as quickly as it started. But it's sort of neat, you know. It's a cool little boost. In this case, I'm glad it's a video. I'm glad it's that video, right? Like, it's something that I would want the channel to be known for. It's something I want people to see. It's something I would want to make related to or follow-up videos on. So it's kind of like a win-win-win.
I think there's a lot of takeaways here, because one, when you made this video, like, how many videos had you made before?
At that time, probably like 450 plus.
Okay, so Tom had already made 450 videos. How many subscribers did you have off the top of your head?
Like 120.
120,000 subscribers. So, like, it's funny because you can have that experience. You know, you can be hundreds of videos in, right? Like, you've got it down if you've been doing it that often, and you're over 100,000 subscribers. So obviously you've seen success, but you can still put your heart and soul to a video and it can tank. Like it can, if you look at the relative to the rest of your channel, that video was a low performing video, and then all of a sudden it just pops off. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, this way. Like that's crazy. If you like covered this, you'd be like, eh. And this is this is views over time, so that's why there's that increase.
Yeah, this is from
but
last
then for it to just shoot
August
up like that, now I don't, that's not something you can count on.
Mm-mm.
But the fact that it's possible, and the fact that like you can say, oh, because you're a big channel, you should start with that, right? Like when you first publish that video, you would expect like, oh, you're a big channel, so it should do something like this.
It doesn't.
Yeah, but it doesn't. And it's like the thing with YouTube, which I don't think any other platform is doing this as well, but I think that the discovery on YouTube is the best in terms of like content creating platforms, because it does factor in watch history and search history of the viewers. So it's like you can do your best as a creator, make the best video that you can, change the thumbnail, change the title, fix your end cards, like try to make it suggested, push it out on Instagram, send out a newsletter, whatever. You could do all you can, but you could do all you can. That's it. Like you're gonna have done all you can, but you don't know what's gonna happen 6 months from now, where all of a sudden, YouTube finds like, hey, all these people that are watching these things or subscribe to these kinds of channels actually really like this video.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great because, hopefully those are probably, well, I think it's safe to say at this point, a lot of those people are new to your channel for the very first time.
Yeah,
because they would have watched it already.
Right. Well, I mean, I can see like the increase in subscribers since that video took off again. And you never know, like, in this case, you could see from the thing, it was from browse. So YouTube decided, it found the people who would like that video for some reason. But another thing that can happen sometimes is you make your video, it sort of hangs out, and then somebody else makes a related video that's incredibly popular.
That like furthers the conversation.
Yeah, and now your video becomes recommended on that video, which didn't exist when you made your video. And those are things like, again, it's not like a strategy you can incorporate into your video making. It shouldn't be
a strategy.
It shouldn't be. It's a happy accident if it ever happens. But it's something that can't happen on any other platform. Like if you make something, I mean, unless I'm wrong, if someone has differing experience, I would really like to know this. But as far as I know, like on Instagram or whatever, you post a reel, you post something to TikTok. If it's 6 months later, it's not suddenly going to like pop off, I don't think. I could be wrong.
No, I don't think so. Also, Peter Gregg says your audio is way louder than mine.
Okay, I'll turn it down a little bit. There we go.
There you go. Thanks, Peter. But yeah, I think the oldest thing I've seen, I mean, and you have to be scrolling for a while, is like 2 months.
Right, because you were getting some Christmas stuff yesterday.
Yeah, because I wasn't feeling good, so I had been on Instagram a little bit too long.
And you could tell.
I was starting to get like Christmas stuff. But that's like the oldest. Like I'll never see anything from, a year or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And and it happens to me on YouTube all the time where like it doesn't matter. Like I can watch, I don't know, dog videos. Here's a golden retriever video, whatever. And then I'll see one from 12 years ago get recommended.
Well, I think the biggest takeaway from this is if you make a video that you're excited about, and it's nice because you're in a position where you can contextualize, okay, like someone who might be new might look at that and be like, well, I'm not doing YouTube anymore because it's, no one saw it.
Right.
And then you can just stop. But you have the context of like, look, I've got, this is our business. We have 400 other videos that people can watch or are watching. And so you just keep going, move on to the next video.
Yeah.
But the thing is that when you made that video, you were having fun.
Yes.
And you are sharing something that is fun for you. Mm-hmm. And now whenever new people find it, they're into it. They're just as into it as you are.
They're also seeing the side of me that I would want them to see.
Right.
Because sometimes, I can't think of any specific examples for me, thankfully, but sometimes, someone can make a video that's like, I've made a couple videos like the VHS transfer one where it's like, made a video about converting old tapes to digital and stuff, and it's still one of my most popular videos to this day, and a lot of people found it helpful, but it also sort of attracted like this audience that I didn't really want. Your Postmates video from back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Like those kinds of things.
F that video. I had to bury that one so far down.
You unlisted your most popular video.
I unlisted probably, I don't know, 5 of my most popular videos because I was just like, this is not, YouTube is not, it's not bringing in the right people. And I just don't.
The videos
I'm going to shut
great.
That door.
Like the numbers are going up, but it wasn't in the way that you wanted them to.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of cool now is like this video specifically, I had a couple follow-up videos that I wanted to make, which I was still going to make, but they were really low on my priority list because I was like, well, if the main video didn't get people that interested, the follow-up about like a niche of a niche is nobody's going to watch that for sure. So I still want to make it because I want to make it, but you know, I'm going to sort of check off all these other videos that I think are a little smarter for me to make now. But now, because of this, and because it did help grow the channel, and now that audience is there, those videos that were lower priority can be bumped up to higher priority because I know there are people there who are likely to find them interesting because they found this other video interesting.
Jared says, hi, good to see you here. Rocky has a question. I'm going to leave that for a second. Peter Greg, heard a YouTube employee say that they are much more audio-driven and recommends rather than topic-driven.
Oh, maybe audio?
I'm
gonna guess audience driven and recommends rather than topic driven.
I believe that because I think that someone's watch history is going to be more of a better indicator.
Yeah.
Than, you know what I mean? Like, which can work against you because as a creator, because like, you know, if someone's not in the mood to watch your video, then
right.
You all of a sudden birds eating out of bird feeders gets recommended, and then that you've lost that person because they've gone down a different rabbit hole. But I think like but also on the flip side of that is if you find a video about a camera that's 25 years old and you're super into that, then you're going to be super into this guy. So it's like it works both ways. Sammy says maybe TikTok it can pop off.
I know TikTok's algorithm as far as recommending stuff is, obviously I don't know because I'm not on it, but it's supposedly pretty phenomenal when it comes to like keeping you on there and watching stuff. And so that's the one I was thinking might be able to pull something that's a little older just because it thinks like this is perfect for this person and we'll keep them here. But it also hasn't been, you can't watch a 12-year-old TikTok. Like it's not possible. So
basically it's all random. Great. I think that's what I think.
You can't. Yeah, you can't. It's random, but it's like, it's almost like winning the lottery. Like it's not a thing to count on, but you can't win if you don't have a ticket. And creating on YouTube is at least getting your ticket.
Yeah. I like that. Tech Troublemaker says, do this until it stops being fun, then pivot to fun again.
Yes.
Yes. Preach. I want a coffee. I thought I was going to miss today's stream. You're here. That's a great point, Heather. Genuine, authentic passion translates.
Yeah. Think about, I just had someone message me the other day about they got selected to start like an after-school video production program for students. They're into it, but they're like, I don't know where to begin teaching this stuff. I don't know what resources do you have. And so I directed them to like some of my old lesson plans and stuff. But I was trying to tell them like that stuff's helpful. Having a good lesson plan is cool. Having your classroom, having equipment, all that. But honestly, like if you are into this and you're excited about it, and you're in the classroom with students and everyone's sharing a smartphone as a camera or whatever, like it'll be great because as long as the students can tell that you are into it and you're excited about it, that will overcome everything else.
Any lesson plan, yeah.
Yeah, and I can speak from experience that is 100% the case. And even if you have, a state-of-the-art studio and all the gear in the world and the coolest lesson plans, if the teacher is just someone who got roped into like, they got a little extra stipend to stay after school and do this thing, it's going to crash and burn because no one's going to care. And I think the same thing is true with anything, but obviously, especially YouTube videos, you watch something from someone who doesn't want to be there making it, you're going to kind of feel that versus somebody who's like into it.
Okay, Rocky, let's go back to your question. Speaking of referencing old YouTube content, I talk about multiple comics on my channel. How do you recommend setting up content for the future about multiple things? Feels different from reviews on one item. Well, there's cards
and playlists.
Well,
that's kind of
yeah. And let's see. You talk about like things a lot.
I do talk about things
like objects. Damn it, you know what I mean? Like products. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like because I was gonna. Mine is like not. They're digital. Yeah, they're not. There you go. Intangible is the word. You talk about tangible things, so you can say, hey, like I'm talking about this 25-year-old camera, but let me tell you about, let me compare it to the camera I'm using today.
Right.
And then now you can reference that video. And right. I think it's very, it can be very organic. It doesn't have to be like, go watch this video next or whatever.
Yeah, it can definitely be organic, and you can curate stuff. Obviously, we mentioned playlists, but then putting those playlists on like your channel's homepage where you can have the different sections and stuff is really cool. So
let's show that.
If you have videos about, say, of 3 different comics that have different videos about them, it's not that those videos all have to connect, but you can put these little playlists in these little sections, like here's one comic, here's the videos for that, here's the next comic, the videos for that, the next comic, the videos for that, almost like different series. You can do that kind of thing there, and that's really, really helpful. I always feel like when I go to somebody's YouTube channel, and this happens with small or large channels, and their homepage is essentially blank, even though they have like 200 videos or something, that's a really missed opportunity to like put your best foot forward.
Yeah, curate your own content. Like if you know that you can probably think like as you're making a video, you can just like kind of think about other videos that you made and then just be like, how if someone likes this video, they're probably gonna like this other video I made, even though it's like 6 months old or whatever.
Yeah, and they wouldn't know about it otherwise, maybe, because even though the algorithm's smart, maybe it's not that smart to make that connection. So, I do that all the time. Like, oh, I don't know. Here, let me talk about this thing. Oh, anyway, this windscreen, I made a whole video about it. You can check it out there, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay. If someone's going to have a question about something.
Johnny Go has a question. If you do a live, then save it to videos. Do you keep it in live also or delete the live?
If you're keeping, or at least what I do, I don't know. If you do a live stream, it ends. I mean, you do this right here with this, and then you keep it up available for replay. It'll always be under the live section in your channel.
Yes. So
if you were to download the live stream, edit it into a tighter video and put it up in videos, then it's up to you, I guess, if you would want to keep the original unedited live up.
So Johnny, this is my tutorial channel. And if you go to videos, you don't see the YouTube huddle up here, right? But if you go to live, here's where the YouTube huddle up is. And like Tom was saying, if I were to download one of these videos and then edit it, then if I upload it, it would go to videos. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, but even that, I'm kind of thinking could be sort of neat. You'd do an hour-long live stream.
That's what Kat did.
Right, you edit it down into an 8-minute video or something, but then even in that video, you can recommend the full unedited live stream for people who are interested in that.
Yeah. All right, let's catch up. Rocky, you can't win if you don't have a ticket. Gold. I also got the quote, all work works from Think Media today.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. All work works.
I like it.
Yeah. So that was cool.
So that was one of my things. What's one of your things?
One of my things is it's been the 3rd week of the YouTube Huddle Up, which is here's our scoreboard. I'm just so excited about it because we've got, let's see, 27 people that have
crazy.
Signed. I know,
that's
crazy.
A full class. Like,
so crazy that have signed up, and
it's free.
It's free. It's over on my tutorial channel, so it's at youtube.com/Heather Ramirez. This is basically just a weekly accountability where you can check in every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let us know what your goal for the following week is. So here's everyone's goals. Here's my goal. So Be Your Own Nerd wants to create 2 new videos by next Wednesday, and then he can check in next Wednesday saying, hey, I made those 2 videos, and then you get a sticker if you hit your goal. So it's just like it's been nice. We had this like 2 years ago. I was doing this, and then I wanted to bring it back because I missed it so much, but also I need the accountability for me, and it's just nice to. It's my favorite part about it is being part of a group is that's like working on something that is also similar to what I'm working on. I think that's like, I don't know. That's essentially what a community is at its essence. But I wanted to I wanted to kick it off and you know, I just missed it. So it's been super fun. And my takeaway there is it's not too late to do YouTube. I feel like a lot of the stuff in my feed is kind of painting this picture like being a content creator is like very stressful, which that's true, but I can't tell you how many like thumbnails of like this face that I've seen of like YouTubers are quitting, YouTubers are, you know, content creators are leaving, and it's just it feels very like I don't know, sad.
Yeah. Doom and gloom.
Yeah, but every time I'm on the YouTube huddle, I'm like, this is so cool. It's just cool to see how creative people can be, how everyone's channel is so different, and you know, I think it's an exciting time.
I have a weekly hockey game at the same time as the huddle up, so I haven't been able to watch it. But what I've noticed is your hour-long show, because I usually get home at like 2:30, and sometimes you're barely just getting off the stream there.
I told myself to cut it off at 2 because I don't want to, you know, I don't want people to feel like they have to stay longer. So I was like, okay, I gotta cap it at 2.
But I think to the passion thing that we were talking about earlier, like it's something I've only heard you talk about in a positive way. Like I want to get ready for this. I want to do that. You know, you're telling me the stories of what people are sharing and what happened on the huddle up, and it's, you know, I feel like I can tell you're looking forward to it every week.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just a cool when it feels like the conversation is steering towards like, you know, YouTube is hard. It's nice to see like, well, that's not stopping these people. It obviously didn't stop any successful YouTube creator because it's always hard every step of the way. It's not uniquely hard now. Yes, there are different things like AI is a huge concern that we should all be thinking about, but there was a time where not everyone had a smartphone.
Right.
And that's not mom and dad's generation. That's me. You know, that was us. So I don't know. It's like, I feel like there's always I like that I can shine a light on people who are still very excited about it, you know, and are still pushing themselves creatively. I think it's a fun thing that I am very proud of.
I think you have a good proof of concept too, because you did it. How long was the original run?
I don't know, actually.
It was
I don't know.
many months.
Yeah.
So a couple years ago when you started the huddle up, did it super consistently for a few months, and then, you know, like it went on hiatus. A lot of those channels are still going.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a good.
I know, it's crazy.
That's a good track record of, okay, when you have this kind of nurturing environment as you're starting and launching, it really helps. I know, oh my God, now, what was this? 6 years ago, a year after I started my channel, I joined a little, was it a Discord? I think it was a Discord group. It was the first Discord I ever joined for like, you know, YouTube creators and stuff. And that was really cool. Like that was a very janky version of this, a very low tech version of this, but it really made a difference. And there were maybe like 9 people in there. But I think obviously I would have continued without it, but I think it really helped me keep going after like the initial high of YouTube excitement wore off. And I kind of want to see, so I think most people I know, out of like the 9 people, 2 or 3 have passed 100,000 in the group. And
That's cool.
Yeah. And one person, I laugh because I remember when I got my channel monetized, I was part of that group. There was another guy in there who was like, man, I've been making all these videos. Like, I can't even imagine getting to a point of having 1,000 subscribers or whatever, who's now at 1.17 million. So, and that's pretty cool because it's like you can watch these channels, and I'm just seeing how it's still super active. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views per video, not just on channel.
It's crazy.
And I wonder if that would have happened
right
without the little supportive community of people to go like, oh yeah, keep going, try this, do feedback, let's talk about banners, let's talk about all that stuff. And
yeah,
so it's cool that the Huddle Up in 2024 can still provide that to people who are psyched about YouTube.
Yeah. Speaking of, Introvert Amateur is here.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. Kids are now sleeping and now able to join. Yeah, Introvert Amateur has done both iterations of the YouTube Huddle Up, and is seeing success right now, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Rocky says, YouTube community has blown my mind. It's a crazy thing. I wake up every day now excited to engage with it. Like, now I'm here to bring positivity. It's harder, but the payoff is greater.
Yeah, 100%. I do get excited. I do genuinely get excited, like checking my email and first like comments and messages of the day, because it's like, what happened? Like, who's gonna? You really never know who's gonna suddenly. Speaking of the Canon XL1, I got an Instagram message from someone who worked on the design team for the XL1.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, they were like, this video popped up in my feed, so there's the algorithm at work right there. He worked on this camera in the 90s, and he was like, it was so cool to see this video, like, which made me feel really good that one of the people who helped design the camera approved of the video.
See, like right there. Like, how cool is that?
And he was like, it reminds me of like this really fun time in my life. I'm still in touch with a lot of people from the team, so I shared the video with them. And it's like, that is awesome. And that's not a message you're going to wake up expecting.
Yeah, like what a cool thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Amazing.
That's so cool.
Absolute highlight.
That's really cool. Well, did you have another thing you noticed?
I did.
Oh, cool.
It's sort of the opposite of spending 6 weeks on a video.
Okay.
So I had a video come out yesterday.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me pull it up.
Sure.
You could.
I know. I'm trying to think of how to contextualize this. So
okay.
Basically what this is, there's a video that came out yesterday. It's 34 minutes long and it's unedited.
Right here. This guy.
I mean, it has a thumbnail and a little bit of music at the end, but there's no cuts. There's not a single cut in the video.
It's not a single cut?
No, it's unedited. There's no There's no punching in, punching out. There's not a B-roll shot. Even times where even when I was recording, I was like, oh, I'll be overlaying this clip here and I'll put this clip here. No. It's a one take. It's a one take.
Okay.
I'm actually going to do a podcast episode about this because I've learned a lot from the reaction, which I didn't really expect. So the impetus behind this was I had been watching some older YouTube channels, like old school Dave Dugdale videos, if you're in the camera community, old school DSLR video shooters, stuff from like the 2011, 2012 era, where a lot of videos really were just somebody sort of
sitting and talking.
And not even product videos, because I know a sitting and talking video about ideas is still really common right now. But, you know, someone has a thing to review, and the review video is literally them sitting there telling you about it and like, look at this, and there's this, and there's that, it does this. And obviously, like, there's things to be said for, like, if I tell you this thing has a certain feature here, and then I can insert a B-roll clip that shows the feature there. That's a helpful thing to do. And it you know, editing, I love editing. I'm not going to not edit videos anymore.
Yeah.
But I really liked the vibe of those old school videos I was watching. And I remember like those are what really hooked me into becoming a regular YouTube viewer, where it didn't just become a place to go look up funny clips. Like it had channels I checked in on regularly. And obviously in today's world of hyper over editing, that's a little different. And so I wanted to make this video that's been on my list again forever, just about like pieces of relatively affordable, underrated, you know, camera audio gear, like things that I use all the time that aren't worth making a whole video about. But, you know, if I put 10 of them in one video, that's cool. And I decided instead of doing that, I'm just going to have a pile of stuff over here off camera, and I'm just going to pick things up, tell you about the thing, pick the next thing up, tell you about the thing, and just sort of see what happened. And I was really nervous about that because I was going for the tone and the vibe of an old school video, but I was worried people were going to think it was lazy.
Okay.
Because, I mean, honestly, like the video's 34 minutes it's 34 minutes long. It took 36 minutes to film, you know, like there's a little bit before and a little bit after that as I was getting ready. And it took, you know, no time to edit. I threw on supporter names at the end, added my outro song, adjusted the color a little bit. I mean, it took maybe 10 minutes to edit. So I made the whole video in under an hour. Okay. And then it could be uploaded. Yeah. So for me, that was easy. Like, that is easy. And it reduced a lot of stress. And I was like, okay, this almost does feel like cheating.
So what was the response?
It was freaking 1 out of 10. You want to talk about my 6-week XL1 video that's 10 out of 10. It got like, I don't know where it's at, 9,000 views in a day or something, which is
that's a lot for you.
Quite good for my normal videos. An average video might get 2,000 to 3,000 in the first day.
Okay.
So it's significantly above that, beating out the more higher edited videos that I've done recently, like stuff about microphones and Rodecaster and whatever, prompter and all that stuff. And what was really cool is the comments. There's a handful, maybe I've gotten 5. I think there's 150 comments on there now. I've gotten 5 that have been like, please go back to editing videos. You're wasting too much of our time. Like, it's really annoying me. You're just waving something in front of the camera. Show me a shot of the thing. Like, people complaining about it. Okay. But I think out of all those other comments, there must be at least 30 that are people like, I love this kind of thing. It's a lot of people saying they like seeing this older style of video, and not even just me, but they've noticed other channels kind of going back to this style of video, and they like that things breathe, and I was really surprised by that. So it's been hugely positive. Yeah. Which has been cool. That's like a crazy surprise.
It's funny because, like, oh my gosh, I'll never. We talk about video length all the time, and I think we're at the point where there is no ideal video length. It's just there's just so many things that it depends on, because this video that you're talking about is 34 minutes long, and I feel like before people would be, that's way too long. Right. That's way too long. We gotta, you.
It's still got chapter markers.
People's attention spans are fading, so we gotta make it quick and stuff like that. And I think this is a good thing. I think, like, it went from, it has to be edited, keep it really short, to, oh, now we have to make it long because we want to insert mid-roll ads. So they just kind of like became intentionally long in the same way they were intentionally short. But this, you're not putting any care into that. You're not thinking about that. It's as long as it is. Yeah, it's as long as it is, and it's all one take. That's crazy. I think that's a really exciting thing.
It's really cool, and it's something that I definitely want to mix in from time to time. Not every video, because then the pendulum would swing too far, and it's like, oh, thank you for making like a short, concise video. But every once in a while, based on the topic, it could be really fun to just do one of these here. And there's a couple things. There's 2 jokes specifically in the video that popped out that people keep referencing in the comments as, like, I guess thinking they were funny, which are jokes that probably would have been edited out of an
edited video.
Yeah, because not that the jokes are bad or anything, but they're kind of like fumbly, and it's more the kind of joke you make when you're hanging out with someone, not a joke that, like, then we're gonna cut to the next thing. So it's like, they're in the moment, they're of the moment. It almost feels like you're in the inside joke because it's sort of like a funny thing that happened. It almost feels like it's happening together because you're watching me, like, come up with it, right, and then share. It's not a polished, like.
Odo Coffee says, no cuts. Honestly, I didn't really notice.
Thank you.
Kombucha says, that video felt like we were just hanging out and you were doing show and tell. I enjoyed it.
That's what I want. I mean, it's almost like a live stream.
Well, let me ask you, why didn't you do it live?
I had the thought, and the reason for me was because I wanted mentally to be able to focus on the topic and not, like, the chat and the network connections and, all that stuff.
The live streaming.
We're doing right now, but it can sometimes, your brain isn't doing 2 things, and you're thinking about 2 things. Sure. I didn't want to worry about that, because the one caveat here, which might sound like I'm tooting my own horn and I'm not, is I'm not saying never edit your videos, press record, and just babble for 30 minutes. I did have an outline I was following. Yeah. I did run through my head, like, the order things were going to go in. I did have everything I needed, like, positioned where I
But it was also a good topic for that.
And it was a good topic that lent itself to that naturally. And I also, which a couple people point out in the comment, like, I was a teacher for 11 years. So, like, speaking long form and trying to make sense and make it sort of engaging and slightly interesting is a thing that I had to practice for a long time. It's not something I could always do. It's a skill that had to be built up. And so if that's not a skill that you've ever practiced and you just press record, try to talk for 30 minutes, it might not feel good.
Yeah, I tried. After the huddle up, I told everyone on the YouTube huddle up, I was like, I'm going to record a video. As soon as I push finish with this live stream, I'm going to record a video. And I babbled for 19 minutes, and I was like, this is going into the trash, because I couldn't do it.
Well, you know what?
I couldn't do it.
You know what made me think that there was something to it was a couple months ago, I started doing, like, Patreon channel supporter updates for a couple things, where it was sort of like this. It was just Ecamm, press record. gonna babble about a thing and whatever.
And you got good feedback from that.
Yes, and I was surprised because I used to do text updates, and I would almost like a blog post, like here's a link, here's a photo, here's a whatever. Watch. And people told me they really liked that. They could, it was almost like a podcast. They could just listen to it, they could do whatever, and they like much preferred that over the text thing, which surprised me. And then I kind of thought, well, these are people who've already like opted into the channel to be supporters, to go above and beyond. So maybe they're
a normal YouTube subscriber wouldn't necessarily.
Yeah, maybe they're more on board with like a special thing. Another person wouldn't. But then I started thinking like, well, I got that same feeling from those old school YouTube videos. Why not?
And if that's your experience,
yeah, then, just because things evolved from that style over the years doesn't mean we can't go back and revisit it.
Tech Troublemaker says, I loved it. You released a minimally edit. I loved you. Released a minimally edited video. I wound up buying the suction cup you recommended.
Yeah, and I think I said it in the video, but I found out about it's a GoPro suction cup mount, but I got it when I was doing flight training because it was recommended by a bunch of aviation channels. So people use them on the outside of airplanes and stuff. Like it's a good mount.
Introvert Amateur says, to be honest, I like that older style more nowadays since everything seems to be over edited. That style looks for me more like a human conversation.
And I remember this evolution, which is funny because I remember watching those old videos where it's a person just saying one thing, you know, like here's one shot talking about a thing. And I remember, especially in the camera niche, as cameras got better and, you know, someone would then put in a B-roll shot and it wouldn't just be a shot of it, but it was a nice looking shot. And I remember specifically like 2013 or so, people started getting sliders. And so you could suddenly like the camera's moving in this really smooth way.
Yeah.
Everything still has to be manually focused, but then people focusing on the lighting. That's where a lot of people started building up their like video production skill sets, was there's things like that. And then it evolves into, you know, what is now essentially a Hollywood production to make a YouTube video. And I understand that's one thing, which there's a lot of good about it, but it's like, we don't have to also never go back to the other thing too.
Yeah. Obbs is here. Paul is also here. Fear for your life, Heather. He is the next OJ. Those gloves and sandbags. Let's see. I think this is exciting, especially since the conversation about AI is like so big right now. I think call me a blind optimist, but I feel like humans are always going to value human to human conversation in whatever format that is delivered. But I really think this is, you know, evidence of that. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Film photography creators do these styles of videos all the time and have over 100,000 subs and get a lot of views. So it's definitely working. Nice. That video wouldn't have translated well to a live stream, but it's great as is.
Yeah, I feel like I would have gotten so distracted, and it almost would have been frustrating to watch as a live stream if you're watching the replay, because I would have gotten derailed.
Live versus recorded. I totally agree with your thoughts about getting distracted by the chat. It's so true. I love the chat, but keeping up with them and staying on track is the whole thing.
Which maybe is different about this show because it was from the beginning supposed to be a live stream.
Yeah.
So incorporating the chat is
We've
part of it.
Done couples table episodes. Remember we recorded a couples table?
We did a few on live.
Well, we did one time. We did a live, and we told everyone we're not going to look at the chat, and then just talked. And then after 30 minutes, we were like checking in back the chat, and I remember the feedback being like, "Wow, that was really cool."
Yeah.
Seeing you, because obviously, our goal with the couples table is to have a conversation that the chat can participate in, because. Yes, we're sharing.
That's part of the purpose of the show.
We're sharing our experience as content creators, but the whole point is to have a discussion with other, whether you're a content creator or not, you're a YouTube user.
Yeah.
So it's nice to hear from different perspectives, but we tried doing like recorded episodes and episodes where you're just watching us.
Yeah, every once in a while. The ones where they were just watching us, that was interesting and people seemed to enjoy it, but I know as we were talking, I felt like I was ignoring someone the whole time.
It's weird.
The pre-recorded ones, I think, worked because sometimes there was a topic where it was like, it's a topic that we almost didn't want to lose track of, but we wanted to explore together. And so it made sense to do the pre-recorded one. But for the most part, obviously the point of this show is to have a conversation. Needs to be a two-way street.
Yeah.
So the chat is not a distraction. It's part
of it.
Yeah.
It's totally part of it. Yeah. Okay.
Mike. Sorry.
Okay. Let's do this, and then I go back to Rocky's question. I see it, Rocky. I'm not ignoring it. Hey everyone, glad Tom did that for a reviewer. It is great to put more emphasis on a personal touch and not cut out too much just for the sake of getting down to a certain time. Time codes do fine.
Yeah.
I think that also changed everything.
Right. The
chapter
fact that
markers.
It is an unedited video, but you can skip to the part that you want.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that at the beginning. Like, you got chapter markers.
I think chapter markers changed everything, and I also think podcasts changed everything because people are used to, I'm just going to put, it's 34 minutes. I'm going to put this on, and I'm going to go clean the house.
Yeah, I love it. I love it when I find like, I need to vacuum and here's 45 minutes. Awesome.
I totally have had the thought of, this is only 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Let me find a longer video.
Yeah, I don't want to have to come back and find something else.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't want to be interrupted. That's funny. See. Go Johnny go. I just want to say thanks for Wednesdays, Heather, and both of you for Fridays. I was part of the original Huddle Up, but quit after 1 to 2 weeks. Never even got my name on the board. Well, we're glad to have you now, and your dogs are super adorable. Actually, I'd love to know what kind of dog they were. This Johnny was the live stream I was watching yesterday.
Oh yeah, okay. I saw parts of
that. He took his dogs to the park, and they were very well behaved on the leash. And I was saying that's not how our dogs are.
No.
But I'd love to know what kind of dogs you have. Okay, now let's go back to Rocky's question. Do you guys have thoughts on having a schedule for your videos? Is that valuable for a new creator? Does YouTube audience care in this day and age of on-demand content and built-in notifications? Oh, man.
This is individual. There's no right or wrong, I think I can say.
I think there's a right.
Oh, what's the right?
I think for a new creator, what I would say is that you should have a regular schedule until you have built up a library. Because I think it's rare for a new viewer to subscribe to a channel that is empty and sporadic. So if you have there's a point where you're uploading like every day and then you take a 3-month break and then you start posting and I think people look and just be like, is this channel still active? So I think you should build up to the point where there is a library and then someone can scroll. Maybe you can curate your homepage and have playlists so people can, find what they really want in terms of your content. But then after that, I don't think there's a right or wrong. Because Tom and I do it very differently.
Yeah, I think it's worth experimenting and see what you like and don't like.
You've done it both ways now.
I've always had a schedule and I've always had scheduled videos, like finished videos ready to go. And then I tried not doing that last year. The good news is that's when I got to make the XL1 video because I spent 6 weeks on a single video and a couple other videos like that. But I quickly found out that I actually hated that. And then I spent months trying to get my channel back on track. It didn't work for me. Totally works for some people. And it's important to try that. And the thing too, like Heather said about being consistent, I would say being regular, but that's a different thing. Being consistent when you start out is good because it gets you past that initial excitement. Like you make your first video, it's awesome. Maybe even your second one. But once you get into 4th, 5th, 6th video, that's usually where it's like, if there's a fatigue, if the newness has worn off and
honeymoon
the grind
phase is over.
And you kind of want to push through that a little bit and see how you feel about it.
Yeah. There you go. We caught up with the comments.
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so because there's channels that don't have, there's evidence for both. That's why.
Right. And that's the thing with YouTube is like you can find best practices for anything. Like, look at this channel that does these rules. This channel does the exact opposite.
I will show you a successful channel that's doing it the total opposite way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's more about, we always talk about sustainability. It's about what works for you so you can keep doing this for as long as you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Was that everything you wanted to talk about? I just want to make sure that
those are my 2 main points
that you noticed.
That I noticed about those were interesting things. Video randomly taken off wouldn't happen on another platform, and audience being open and receptive to a planned out but unedited video.
Yeah. I think
unedited sometimes gets mushed with unplanned, and that's, in my case, that wasn't the situation.
There is a difference.
Yeah, there was a plan. There wasn't a script or anything, but there was an outline. Like, here's the things. And even in the video, you can see me like, wait, what's next? Okay, this.
Well, here's something that I can, since we have some time left. One thing that I've noticed is, or not noticed, but my view on shorts is changing. I'm not saying that I'm gonna like now just do that, but Colin Samir did a podcast recently, and they talked about how they were watching some huge like sports thing. I don't know if it was the Super Bowl, but it was some huge sports thing that was on YouTube TV. And then during commercials would scroll through shorts. And so now you have one viewer going through two different products on your same platform, which is like, I think that says so much, because like, I think this is what YouTube wanted, is to not, if you're in a scrolly mood, like you don't know what you want to watch, you're not looking for anything in particular, you're just bored because you're watching commercials, don't pick up TikTok, don't pick up Instagram. We have a shelf of the same kind of content that you can scroll through also. And so no one leaves. So I think that YouTube achieved its goal, which is interesting, because I think it was rocky to start, but having done the live stream with James, which I think is so worth watching. So
it totally is.
If you are still trying to figure out short form vertical content, just hearing his perspective, like totally, because I've only heard bad things up until talking to James. Actually my experience has been like whatever's, but yours was like bad enough to not continue.
Mine on my channel was bad, but making short form stuff for like Instagram, my second channel, has actually been really fun, like the hockey videos and things, or it's been experimenting. But on my channel, some of them were bringing in, like, there's one of them I had to like just turn off comments, and then people would like go find other shorts and be like, since you turned off comments on that one, here's my comment. Like, buddy, go eat lunch. Like, come
on. So my perspective on shorts is changing. I want to try. My goal for March is to try. I'm just gonna try it. I need to experiment.
I've been having a lot of fun. I've been doing mic'd up hockey videos, and it's cool because I got my old school Canon EOS R, so I've been not filming them with my phone, but it's been fun to like play with the audio. I literally started just recording them vertically. I mounted like a monopod mount on the side of the camera so it can click in vertically. So it's all like framing stuff that way is totally different. Like communicating visually is so different. It's been fun. Like I've just had a good time like figuring out. I've gotten to play with my GoPro that has the full frame, like you can film one shot and then crop it to be horizontal or vertical because it's the full resolution of the sensor, which has been awesome. Because
you know what I loved about James's workflow?
That he just does it on his phone and edits in the car on the way home.
Man. All on the phone and edits on the way home, and it's done.
Yeah, no, that's really cool.
And he gets thousands, tens of thousands of
dollars.
No, views. I mean, I don't know what the dollar amount is, but like it's encouraging to me that like, you don't need fancy, because you know me, I'm not into the gear.
No, you're not, but I am, and so it's
great. You can do it either way. It's been a fun
outlet for that,
yeah,
and for things that I hadn't used or whatever. Like an old camera's been sitting for a couple years.
Yeah. Okay, real quick. Says, I am very happy that you both got me going, even if shortly every day.
Oh yeah, you're kicking butt.
Yeah, you're doing great. Rocky says, so basically you're saying it's all random again. Yes. Great insight. Thanks so much. I have some playlists already and trying to be somewhat consistent every week with at least some content.
Yeah. So much is just finding what works for you.
I hate making shorts, but catch myself watching them a lot when sitting down and not knowing what I'm in the mood for. Yeah. That's the thing, is like, I feel like I need to give it a try, because I feel like my resistance right now is like the boomer thing of like, oh, that's the new, it's the new thing. Everyone's gonna, long form. I just hear it. I can hear the excuses, and I want to go back to 2016 Heather, who had a point and shoot camera and was like, I don't know anything, but I'm just gonna take my camera out into the world and see what I can make. And it was just fun. There was no wrong. It was just sandbox time.
So maybe here's a point that we can wrap up with is, I think a thing that maybe all of us have experienced, whether it's school, work, YouTube, whatever.
Ooh, tell us, Tom.
When you start doing something, the way that things are when you start feels like the right way and how they should be. So
yes.
If you join YouTube in 2016 and everybody's making vlogs and doing that, that's how YouTube feels like it should be. If you start working at a job and you have, these other coworkers and these office policies and these methods of doing things,
procedures.
This is how it should be. Over time, obviously things change and evolve, and it can start to feel like you're moving away from how they should be. But one thing I've also noticed, especially teaching, was like this. Like when my first year teaching, that senior class was like, that's how seniors should be, for better or worse. And then afterwards it was like, oh, everything. But then you realize, say you're working at a place, it shifts over time and it feels like, oh, this isn't how it should be. For a new employee who's starting right then, for them,
that's their should.
That's their new, like, this is how it should be. And I think that's important to recognize so that you can realize it's not how it should be. It's how you were introduced to it. And you can sometimes
you have yourself. A bias. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bias. You can maybe be aware of your bias, take it away, and then look at the new thing just for what it is. And I think that's really important now for content creators in a world where platforms and tools and audience and everything has changed over the past few years, to not be stuck in our old ways and with our old biases, to pull back, look at what things are, and then almost pretend like you're jumping in for the first time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to do. And so we talk about this all the time, but I'm going to put it out here. One of my hopes for March is for me and Tom to collaborate on shorts. Is going to be experimental because I have no expectations, but this is when it's fun because it's just the sandbox. But Tom has been able to scratch the itch of these other, photo, video skill sets by incorporating it into hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And I want him to help me make jump rope videos. So I'm going to jump.
Yeah, I can't.
But like, instead of just being like, Tom, can you
can I just hold the camera?
Yeah, do what the tripod's doing. Like, let's see if we can come up with something different.
I mean, I had one really fun idea last night that I'm excited about.
Yeah.
It's a very simple idea, but I think will be fun.
Because the thing with any content is the novelty. Like, something being really impressive is only going to be impressive the first time.
Yeah.
So I can't just jump. Like, it's got to be something else. There's got to be something different. There's not even any conflict there. There's nothing interesting there.
Well, I mean, think about, like, drones are a really good example. 10 plus years ago, when drones were first becoming consumer accessible, there were videos where people could literally, I remember watching like these low quality, whether they were GoPros or other brands, these low quality cameras being put on a shaky drone and just flying through, anywhere. It didn't matter. A neighborhood, the desert, whatever.
But no one had seen it.
Video has 500,000 views or whatever, because it's just like, oh my God, like
that's
you would normally have to charter a helicopter to do this. And there was maybe a 6-month to a year-long period where it's like, you just post drone videos. That's it. You don't need, there's nothing more. They don't have to look that great. Obviously, people got tired of that. People got better at using drones. It became more. And now I find myself like sometimes double tapping to skip through like someone's majestic Icelandic thing, or like, here's New York City and all its glory.
Ocean waves.
All right, anyway, what's the point? And like that thing, like the novelty wears off, and then it becomes, meanwhile, there's other times where you see something like a drone shot that's being used super effectively, where like the point or the story or the whatever wouldn't be able to be conveyed without it.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, what a cool way to use that thing. And it's
right. Right? Like, what a cool way to use that thing. I don't know what that is, but I'm excited to experiment.
And it comes with experimentation.
Yeah. All right. So Mike says, I hate making shorts, but catch myself watching. Oh, I already said that. Mike, the hockey videos are great.
Thank you.
I do 15-second comic reviews through shorts that are all edited using the YouTube app. Takes me 15 to 20 minutes each one and gets my highest number of views and fastest. Hate TikTok, but this has been minimal effort to try.
That's cool.
I'm curious. Why have you used CapCut? Have you tried CapCut? Because I feel like CapCut is the shorts, the default shorts editor app, but I'm curious about the YouTube app, because when I used it, it was horrendous, but that was a while ago, like 2 years ago. So I'm curious. Anyway.
All right.
Well,
time to clear the
table.
We both clapped and said the same thing.
We did.
All right. Well, thank you all for accommodating our slightly shifted schedule. Next week, you're going to be out of town.
Oh, crap. Yeah. I forgot.
Oh, crap.
I forgot. Oh, yeah. Right? No. We're here.
Next week.
Yeah,
2 weeks from now. Yeah. Next week you're here. 2 weeks you're out of town.
Wait, I should totally. I'm going to Vegas.
Oh, we could do a remote.
Yeah, like we should check in.
That would actually be
like
really
a
fun.
Split screen. That'd be cool.
I'm not going out of town, so I'll just be hanging out over here.
Yeah. Oh my god, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, but if you want to keep an eye on that, we do have an email list that's just for couples table stuff, where we send out like notifications of the shows and everything.
So if we have to move stuff around, you'll get the link.
Yeah, it's not used for anything else, other communication. It's just usually the day before a show. We just say like, hey, tomorrow, like last night, it was like, hey, new time, 11 a.m. Here's the link.
Link in the description. Oops, I hit this.
Alrighty. Well.
Oh, hey, Patrick.
Patrick. Hey. Thank you for hanging out. Oh, wait, sorry. This answers the last question. Rocky says, I've tried CapCut because of the subtitling tool, but I find it too complicated for what I was doing. My shorts are just shots of the comic with my VO plus background music.
Nice. Good to know.
All about finding the tool that works for you.
Yeah.
So, hope you have a safe, happy, healthy, fun rest of your week and a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Hello, you never have to be sorry for participating in the comments.
We thank you.
Yeah, this is what it's for, so thank you. I have to be
I appreciate it.